What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Overseas Dines with Q. As always, I'm your host, Rich Quinones. And if you are just tuning in, it's a pretty fast paced, hoop centric basketball show. We talk a lot of hoops, obviously, with a focus overseas. Don't forget, you can get social with me anytime at Rich Q on Q on X, IG, TikTok, Rich Q on the mic. And we always want to say hello to our good friends tuning us in live over on channel 82 in Bermuda. And we need some of that weather right now, man, because up and down the East Coast, it is just absolutely nasty out there. But you know what? We got a great player joining us. Anthony Strickland has had that overseas trek, and he's kind enough to join us for a couple moments. And appreciate a couple moments of your time, brother. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing good, pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Now, we were just saying before we came on the air, you just came back in the States. So you were overseas, were you not?
Yes, I was in Lithuania, Europe for like a couple weeks for training camp. I report back to Lithuania January 19th to the 28th. So I'm taking a break, chilling with family right now, working out, trying
Nice.
to enjoy myself right now before it's time to go back to play ball again.
Were you over there for? Is it pronounced the Qantas Cup?
Yeah, the
It's
Kiwanis Cup. That was it's an international tournament that's
gotcha,
coming up.
gotcha,
Um,
gotcha.
myself, I have experience in El Salvador, South America. So
Yep.
this trip right now is for me to get on a European market.
Okay.
So when you're not in the European market, you have to promote yourself. You got to play good. You got to play for the coaches, train, and all that. Because
100%.
European market is the most volatile market in the world. So once you get in the European market, you can play anywhere in the world. You pretty much set.
Now that's listen. That's great knowledge for some of the. We get a lot of basketball fans and a lot of basketball players that are trying to make that jump overseas that tune in. So that's kind of like priceless
Right.
information. You're kind of giving them. So you're over in Michigan, I believe. Would you play college ball? Did you go to Eastern Michigan?
No, that's all the wrong information. They're supposed to update my Eurobasket, my Latin basket
So where'd they have
account,
you going to
my
college?
profile. I went to
Yeah.
South Suburban Community College in
Oh, okay. You play
Chicago.
JUCO ball.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey,
Yes,
listen,
sir.
I went to JUCO myself. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, these Euro sites, they do definitely need to
No.
get on the ball with some of these stats, man, because especially with the FIBA stats, those are your livelihood, man. They got to have
Yeah,
everything updated, right? So
exactly.
what's the experience like that grind we talk about, the difference from playing in the States and now making that trek overseas? What do you prefer? Would you rather play ball in the States or do you enjoy playing overseas, or is it too much of a grind?
I mean, how I started playing professional ball, I went to school, then after that, I decided to take my talents overseas. So I started playing semi-pro ball. And what people don't know is semi-pro ball will get you to overseas. Everybody want to go to the NBA and this and that. That's cool. But people don't realize like you can go to the league from overseas though.
Yeah.
So I spent my time playing semi-pro ball, especially in the States. And I got some people here that ain't even see the vision, but not gonna speak negative on that. But they have to see my grind. And basically it took me a lot, it took me a long time just to get my feet in the water when it comes to overseas because I came from a small school and I ain't go D1, so I had to grind it out. Sometimes I had to waste, not waste, I had to spend a lot of money. My parents had to spend a lot of money to get me to these places. They my big support system. So I will go play ball semi-pro just to polish your game up a little bit. Then you can go overseas because
Yeah.
you go overseas and let's say you stay there for a month, you might get homesick. Some people can't even last a week in Mexico, but you want to play
That's great.
professional basketball. Like it's kind
That
of
that
crazy,
that's
but
Yeah, that's not a good thing, man. As soon as you get off that plane and you
yeah,
start to get homesick, I think if you're a younger player, do it now. Like get yourself mentally and physically
right,
adjusted to getting off that plane right away. Because again, some
right,
guys maybe in their mid or late 20s or early 30s and they're still playing at a high level and they got opportunities, but maybe they just got married, maybe they have a family, maybe they don't want to leave their family for a couple months, which is understandable. Or if they can take them over, so be it. But
right,
you're right. It's a lot of the leagues, whether it's, you know, ABA a little lower tier, TBL. Now we got the revamped USBL. We got a lot of teams jumping from
Hmm.
league to league to league. Like you said, at the end of the day, if you get it on film and your talent speaks for itself, then you should have some opportunities playing overseas. Do you manage
Right.
yourself? Do you negotiate for you, or do you have someone that does that?
No, when I since I've been playing pro ball, I actually have an agent. I signed with a new agent, which is my old agent. So I went back to my agent, Baseline Sports Agency that's located in California.
Okay.
John Bentley and Steph Mallory, shout them out to they the best platform for me to try to go to the G League, if not play the Euro League. They got the tools, they got the results, everything else. You just have to be patient. I'm 32 years old. I feel like I'm LeBron. LeBron's still in the NBA. He's still playing ball at 40. I mean, if
Yeah.
I'm still able to move, I mean, why not play basketball? Like some people don't see it like that because you getting older. Well, if you take care of your body, you can still play. I mean, I don't see what's the point in that.
No, no, no. It's a good point. I was listening the other night to one of the games, and it's amazing. Like Harden's been in the league for 17 years and close to 29,000 points, right? But like you said, LeBron,
Right.
Kobe, all those years, even Shaq. The NBA, you can float around a little bit. I think also overseas, it's meant to for some of the older players. I know they want to get these young kids and these young bucks going and play against the men, the boys against the men, and really test themselves. And I like that. I like having these younger
Right.
kids 18, 19, 20. But I also think, and I say this with respect, for guys
Hmm.
around your age, it might be tougher because you can play, but maybe they want to go young. And then, as you know, there's the politics, right? Or if a bunch of players from one team in a league are going from the States overseas to say they're playing in, the Portugal League or in Spain or SIPA Pack or whatever, in Malta, Morocco,
Yeah.
maybe it's almost like three or four of these guys going all together. And then there's not enough roster spots, so to speak, right? Have you found when
Right.
you played overseas, it's more American players than natives of that country?
That's crazy because this year, this Kiwanis Cup will be the first time ever I would be playing with all Americans. Because every country I went to, um, it's only two Americans per team. I'm
Okay,
I'm I'm known as a foreign exchange import player.
okay.
I'm not on no language. I know two languages already, but this year will be the first year ever I'll be playing against people I know. I'm still gonna play my game, but it's different though. But it's bittersweet, so yeah.
Is the game vast? Everyone tells me it. It's everyone has their varying opinions, right? But they all tell me one thing: you're there to do a job. Like they don't care if you're tired, if you're, if you're just jet lagged, if you haven't eaten. As soon as you get off that plane, man, your passport runs through, and you go through the metal detector, and you walk out, and you take a cab or an Uber, and you get to the gym. You better be ready to play. Is that
Hey,
accurate?
it's a funny story. I just went through that when I came back from Europe. They canceled my flight on the 19th. I had to go to the airport on the 20th the next day. I stayed there and had a technical issues with the airplane. I
Uh,
stayed the night in the airport in France for almost a day and a half. The
that's
next
brutal.
day I had to go to Lithuania. I ain't practicing nothing like that, jet lag. I still managed to score 14 points, 9 rebounds, and turnovers is cool, but I was tired, man. I
No,
was tired.
I hey, listen, I travel for broadcast, and I know one time I got stuck in the airport, man, and all I had to do was call the fights, and I'm like, "Oh, this is so exhausting and draining."
Facts,
That's
facts.
crazy.
Mhm.
Uh, that's
Yes,
crazy.
sir.
Anthony
So
Strickland
you
kinda
have
got
to learn to play under
Yeah, go ahead.
the conditions. Yeah, I'm sorry. You have to learn how to play under the conditions. That's the only thing I tell somebody like. You have to learn how to play under any conditions. Ain't no excuse. These foreigners, they got money. They paying for you to play. If not, there's another Anthony Strickland out here besides me. They're like, are you gonna scratch my name off? Oh, okay. I'm not trying to hear that. They got a family to feed too. So you good or you're not.
Uh, do you find sometimes the red tape of the politics over there where flat out you should be getting more burn, you should be getting more time. Maybe you shouldn't be coming off the bench, or maybe you should have always been that starter once you got over there. Do you find that there's more politics? I mean, there's politics anywhere in any walk of life. I don't care what you do or where you go, but is that something you'd have to
Right.
overcome?
Not with the overseas thing. My homeboy Fred out here too as well. He's from Rockford as well. I get this a lot, and it's not comparing to him. I get this a lot. People be like, "Why come you didn't make it to the NBA? Why come you're not in the league?" Well, hell, it's not that easy like y'all think it is. It's politics. It's different players, agencies. You know, we got cliques going overseas that's trying to get their players to other teams. Like it's it's really a grind. Like basketball is not for the weak at all. You know, I come back to the States, I feel like a regular person, regular ass person. When I go overseas, I get treated like royalty. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it though. You know, it's cool. I actually want to move to Spain. That's my goal to move to Spain, Barcelona. I want to move there. I've been
Listen, make
sad.
sure you get a two-bedroom, and we'll split the cost on that one. I'm there with you, brother. I'm definitely
For
there with you.
sure.
What
For sure.
being overseas in these different experiences, what I know you're so educated. When someone says it's a top league and then a middle league and then a lower tier league, is the level of competition, is it really, can you really see the difference from like that top to middle to lower tier overseas?
Yeah, you got some dogs actually overseas. I actually was I looked at the country where I was at, Mexico. You know, I'm thinking Mexico, sweet, this and that, and third. Oh, this is so easy. I come to Mexico, I see a lot of dogs. I'm like, I'm gonna court. I'm like, damn, this guard good. I had faced one of the best guards in Mexico, and
Okay.
I thought he was sweet. I thought he was sweet, you know. And actually, he gave me a run for my money. You can't really judge nobody because of the area you at. Anybody can play basketball, so it is levels to this, and some levels I look at, when I look at like the Euro League or stuff like that, you know, I'm not saying I'm the greatest, but I'll be looking at these players like it makes me mad. Like, why am I not on TV or why am I not playing at this level? You know, I just put me in front of that coach. You know what I'm saying? Put me in front of that agent. You know, so yeah.
Is I also hear a lot of, it's more than just, the highlights and the workout, right? It's you got to come across a certain way, you got to attack it a certain way, you got to play the game, you got to be professional, but you also kind of have to know your worth. I know sometimes, it's
Mhm.
just we're human, so at the end of the day, we might just take that first opportunity that comes, and we're lowballing ourselves, right? We've dropped our pants. We're taking it just to make a buck. Is I know you said you've got your agents and whatnot, but I'm sure that's got to be a battle sometimes, because you might say to yourself, well, I'm only going to make a couple of G's overseas for this month, or, but it goes for 3 months. And then I might have an opportunity to stay here and play with another league for another 3 months. So there's 6 months total. So I guess you have to kind of figure out that balancing act, especially when it comes to compensation and making sure that you
Mhm.
are being paid for your talent.
For sure. Um, Let me see. It's been almost 2 years since I've been overseas. You know, my experience been in South America, but I've been here. I was so pissed off that I was still here. Like it took me 2 years just to go back overseas. And like with the agent thing, like I can't fault the agent, you know, because agents do their job, but I never let nobody, no man control my destiny or my career. That's why people see like I be posting a lot on Facebook and stuff like that. I post everything. I make my own highlight tapes. I make my own YouTube channel. I post everything so I can promote myself. I don't really trust nobody for it. Like
No,
I
listen,
don't get me wrong. I trust my agent, but I'm
right.
not gonna. Yeah,
No, listen, you're street smart. You've seen it. You've been around the block. You get to a point where you're like, I'm going to do it myself, because a lot of people
hmm
just talk at the end of the day, and you hold yourself accountable. That's the thing. If you're like, man, I got to get
right.
my miles in, I got to get my workout in, I got to get my shots up, I got to get my gym time. I rely on me. And then the marketing stuff, you're right. I mean,
hmm
I think that's the perfect thing. Do it on your own. I mean, it shows that you're willing, it shows that you're also taking your craft and your passion serious. Social media is so annoying. It's a cesspool. It is. But
It
for what
is.
you do, for what I do, we constantly have to be engaged and we constantly have to put stuff out there. And it gets so tiring after a while. But it comes with the territory. And then if you turn around and that one highlight catches somebody's attention, you know, it's certainly well worth
Mhm.
it. How would you describe your game on the floor? You more, once you put it on the floor, kind of see that crease and that crack, and you're attacking the Tim. Are you more of a facilitator, looking to distribute first? How would you kind of describe your game?
That's kind of tough because when I was in high school, I was a pure shooting guard. I was a knockdown shooting guard. None but shots. Like my coach didn't let me drill the ball. You shoot the ball, catch, shoot. But I had to learn how to become a point guard at South Suburban Community College, and I fell in love with it. Like I said, if I'm not at the gym, which I haven't been in the gym shooting around for like almost a month, I'll be in the basement doing like calisthenics and push-ups and dribbling drills for like an hour that I keep my ball handling, fresh, you know what I'm saying? But I like working out. Working out. If I don't work out, I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like my whole day messed up. Like right now, before we have got on this call, I had to go work out
Yeah.
in the basement, so I ain't
No,
feel
no, I
right.
get it. You need that mental, man. I listen, I'm the same way. I'm a gym rat too. It's like you want to get a workout in, whatever it is, the weights, the running, the sparring, the hitting the bag, doing jump rope,
For
shooting
sure.
shots, working up a sweat because it's great. It's our outlet, right? The mic for me is my
Right.
outlet. The gym for you is your outlet. It's our sanctuary. And unless someone really
Hmm.
is in that field or that realm, they really kind of understand it. I joke with people. I said, I'm the most comfortable, safest, and secure when I'm behind this thing. That's just how I feel. And I think for
Hmm.
a lot of players and athletes, they feel the same way once they're on the floor or they're on the field or they're in the ring if they're a boxer. That's their that's their zone, their area of expertise, and you
Hmm.
should, you should take that serious. When you mentioned the G League, and I know a lot of guys that play in the G League and they played overseas, and I wish the G League itself would do a little more marketing at the end of the day. And I know they're getting a lot more games on certain networks and getting it out there. You look at the G League,
Hmm.
and then and I'm not. I respect all the leagues in the states, and then you look at some of the leagues in the states and some of the smaller
Hmm.
ones, and then some of the ones that you and I are very familiar with. Is there a big time discrepancy in talent? Because, like for the TBL, for instance, they've had players play overseas, have a cup of coffee in the G
Right.
League, and have pretty good careers and stand out in college. And I think some of that talent, can rival some of these players in the G League. I think the USBL, which is newly revamped, which is going to
Right.
start in 2026 in March, a lot of those
Hmm.
players have also had a cup of coffee in the G League or played overseas. So when you look at the G League, do you think some players look at that as, man, if I get on the G League, that's it. I'm going to get a shot in the NBA.
Um, Not necessarily because people get dropped down from the league to the G League all the time. I say that it's marketing, it's politics. I
Yep,
should put it like that.
I got you.
Me, I only had like two G League interest from two teams. The Indiana Pacers G League team and the Chicago Windy City Bulls. That's it. I got that from the TBL. You probably familiar with Carl Wiley and David Magley.
I
Yeah, I used
broadcast games for the
yeah,
TBL for years. I know. Yep, absolutely. I know Mags and Evelyn and all. Yep,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
And
So
that's
that's how
that's
I
good
got my
exposure
attention
for
with
you.
the G League, though.
Yeah. No, it's great exposure. I just think I like the game the way it's played in Europe. I just think it's, some leagues are a little more wide open. Some leagues are more guard heavy. Some leagues are more predicated
Hmm.
on the big man, athleticism. In all
Hmm.
your experiences, where was the place you enjoyed playing the most?
That is tough. That's tough. Uh, I say the toughest place I love would have to be El Salvador or Barcelona. But Barcelona was I love Barcelona. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's where I want to be. That's where first heard about Luka Doncic. So I was in
Really?
this city. I ain't never get a chance to go to his games, but I keep hearing Luka, Luka, Luka. Man, who the hell is Luka? I finally got to see who he was, but yeah, this man a real deal. And then European ball is very physical. It's not for the weak, and you have to be able to stay in Europe in real leagues for like 6, 7 months. And that means you're getting good money. My homies that's not from Rockford, they play overseas in China. They get paid 10K a month for six
Wow.
months. That's 60K, 10K a month. So it's money to be made out here. You just gotta go get it. And it might be hard, but yeah, definitely it's possible though.
You follow the NBA game a lot?
You know, it's crazy. I stopped watching the NBA. I stopped watching basketball. I've been watching overseas ball. That's where I'm playing at. So I need to study who I'm
Makes
be playing
sense.
against. But
Listen,
I need to.
makes sense. The NBA game, they play no defense. None.
They don't play on defense at all.
I mean,
It's just
you know,
entertainment, I think. Not to
that's
shoot the
it.
NBA down, but
No, it's
yeah.
pure entertainment. And, they're going through it anyway with this whole gambling and betting scandal, which I'm sure that happens overseas
hmm
too. Like I was having a conversation with a player a couple months ago, and I was like, man, don't tell me for 1 minute some of those cats on there are not betting, with these offshore books and these apps. And I said, you got to be
Oh yeah.
careful. You got to be careful
Yeah.
because it's very prevalent. It's all over the place. And the thing is, you're looking to make a quick buck, you're going to get caught, or you're just looking to sustain your career. And like you said, make
hmm
money. I kind of tend to agree with you though. Like I've been enjoying watching a lot more games from some of these leagues overseas because I'm educating myself on the various different leagues and some of these players. And quite frankly, I like the style of play and the ambiance, the crowds. They're unbelievable, man. They're crazy out
Live crowd. Live crowds. I've been to crowds where it was hot. I couldn't control my sweat. Like it was so crazy. But it's I'll definitely watch overseas ball. Like I had a 10-hour flight to France and then a layover, but the whole flight, I was on Turkish Airlines too. They take care of you. The whole flight I was watching nothing but overseas ball. I'm in the back. I requested my seat in the back, so I hate sitting by people. I'm long as ever. I don't like sitting them at all. I don't like sitting by no window. Just
there.
put
Right,
me in the
right.
back. I was watching that the whole time. So overseas ball, I like it though. I love it actually. It's
If
definitely bittersweet.
and again, I appreciate the time greatly. I know I got a couple more minutes with you. If there's any advice you can kind of give someone, a player, from your learning experience, you're a vet, man. You've been around the block. What would it be?
Don't give up and don't worry about what people say about you with your career. If you feel like you want to invest in your career, do that because ain't nobody else doing it. And at this time, day and age right now, anything you doing sports wise, but I don't care if you trying to be a musician or whatever, you gotta pay that bread. If you ain't paying that bread, it costs to be a boss. So if you can't pay to go to a simple camp, but you can pay to go to a party like me, don't get me wrong, I like to have fun too, but I know when to take care of business. Trust me. So when it's time for me to put my money to the side, oh yeah, it's time to get down to the nitty gritty. Pay my flights, pay my everything. Sometimes I have to pay for flights. Sometimes teams not gonna pay for your flights. It's different situations for that. And people don't understand. So I would tell them to stay ready and invest in yourself. That's what I would say.
That's smart. That's sound advice. Like I said, man, you've been around the block. You play the game. You carry yourself the right way. And quite frankly, I appreciate you being transparent because a lot of players and a lot of athletes, you came basically right out and said, yeah, you don't trust a lot of people. And that's, the listening audience, the hoops fans, they love to hear, the player, but the person, right? And the story. And some guys get screwed, some guys have false promises, some guys get taken advantage of. So we've all been there, right? We've all been there. And I like the fact that you rely on you post your stuff, you're active, and you just kind of go about your business. And I think good things are going to continue to happen for you. How's your Espanol? You brush up on your tu habla español? Your Spanish? How is it? We got to work on it or no?
Yo, yo habla español poquito. I speak a little bit.
There you
I
go.
can
Come in.
keep a
Okay.
conversation.
Okay. See, there you go. Well, listen, I'm telling you right now, you get one of those 2 or 3 bedrooms. I'll have my little studio on the side, and you go do your thing, man. Go make the money, and I'll just broadcast from the bedroom. I'm straight with that. I'm straight with that.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Yes,
that
sir.
lastly, before I let you go, before I let you go, if you have social media, if you want to push social media where everyone can kind of follow you, I know you got the YouTube channel as well, the IG and everything. Go ahead, give a shout out and a
Mhm.
push.
You can subscribe me on YouTube at Anthony Strickland or Facebook at Anthony Strickland or I would say Instagram. It's called Strick. My last name Strickland, so Strick with 4 Ks and an underscore. So that's my Instagram. All my basketball stuff on there. Whatever you need to see, whatever you can hit the bell. You get notification while I post because I definitely be posting a lot too as well.
And then lastly, you mentioned, will you be going back overseas relatively soon?
Yes, I report back to Europe January 19th to the 28th for a big cup tournament.
Okay.
All the stats will be on FIBA worldwide. So if you playing international ball, all my stats gonna be on International Federal League websites, so you can see forever. So something to show
Yep.
for, you know.
Oh, yeah, of course. They stream those games. They broadcast those games.
Yes, they do. Like I said, they do that too as well. But I actually record my games too. I just
Perfect.
can't. They don't sit right with me, man. No, for real.
No, I get it. I get it. Well, listen, man, I know you've been so tight with your schedule and just trying to unwind since you came back, but I greatly appreciate
Mm,
you jumping on board for a minute. And as we like to say, I appreciate you running the floor with me and joining me on this edition of Overseas Dimes, brother. Thank you so much.
for sure. I appreciate you having me on the podcast.
All right, you got it, man. Be well. We'll talk down the road.
All right, thank you.